Well, if you've ever really carefully looked at it, you'll notice that every real investigation starts the same way. Evidence, facts, a theory that can survive daylight. But Inspector Candace Clouseau, she doesn't follow that track. She follows impulses, suspicions, narratives that evolve over time. And lately, you had to have noticed this. Her little investigation has started to feel less like journalism and a whole lot more like a conspiracy roulette wheel. Welcome to the Dreamweaver phase. Segment 1, the ever-expanding circle of suspicion. So let's talk about what's actually happened calmly. After the tragic death of Charlie Kirk, Candace began publicly speculating about who or what might be responsible. And at first, the language was very careful.
I'm just asking questions.
Then something changed pretty quick. The circle widened. First, Turning Point USA itself began to be framed as suspicious. Never with evidence, but with implication and vibes and tones, and this feels off.
No, something's not right, because I promise you I'm not a crazy person.
Then the suspicion shifted toward individuals close to Charlie. Even to the point today, I'm in January filming this, 2026, she's zeroing in on Erica. Again, not through documentation or proof, but through pattern reading, think visions and dreams. And then it kept expanding. Israel, the French Foreign Legions involved, Egyptian planes, the US military, Fort Huachuca, mysterious handlers, underground tunnels, shadow organizations, old intelligence rumors.
They're all in on it.
Vague military connections, a revolving door of possible culprits, not one substantiated. At no point have documents been presented that she didn't just make an Excel spreadsheet. At no point were primary sources verified. At no point was a clear falsifiable claim established. No, instead we got narrative drift, and that's the problem. Next, when suspicion replaces sourcing, we have a problem. Here's how responsible journalism works. You start with evidence, like I said, you test that theory. If it collapses, you discard it. What we're seeing instead is the opposite. A conclusion forms first. Here's what I'd really like to see that benefits me. Something dark is going on, and then new suspects are plugged in as needed to keep the story alive.
Everyone in this household is under suspicion.
When one theory doesn't land, another appears. When one group is questioned, another's implied. When pressure mounts, the narrative mutates. Go back and look at her videos. You see this pattern all through it. One thing that isn't is investigation. It's kind of a myth building in real time. And notice something important. The more speculative the claim, the more confident the delivery. There's no uncertainty, absolutely no humility, not even a pause, just certainty without corroboration. And it's dangerous. Third thing I think that we're seeing a lot is the Charlie Kirk dreams and symbolism turn. This is where it gets especially concerning. Candace has publicly referenced dreams she's had involving Charlie. Symbolic impressions, and intuitive interpretations.
I was studying dream interpretation.
It's like we're doing a mime presentation in the park. But she treats these things not as personal grief processing, but as meaningful insight. Now let's be really, really clear. Having dreams about someone who died is human. Sharing them privately is normal. Interpreting them as possible revelation for the public, dangerous. Once dreams enter the investigation, accountability exits. Because now, if someone challenges the claim, the response becomes as follows. Well, you can't disprove what I experienced. Well, I guess that's true, which is exactly why dreams cannot function as public evidence. They're unfalsifiable. Fourth, the clues that never converge. Here's the tell. In real investigations, theories converge. In fantasy investigations, they multiply and they spread out. If Israel is involved, why Egypt? If Egypt's involved, why the French Foreign Legion? If the French Foreign Legion is involved, why Fort Huachuca? If the military is involved, why Turning Point insiders? Nothing resolves, nothing narrows, nothing proves anything. but there's a whole lot of hurt and lives being ruined. The mystery survives and it keeps going. It seems almost supernatural in a bad way, but it keeps going by never being solved. And the audience is left not with truth, but with permanent suspicion of everyone.
You have developed some sort of selective deafness.
In fact, I'm making these videos and she has people like me in a category. They're getting thousands from Israel. No, never got a penny. I doubt they know I exist. But I know she'll be coming for me anyway because I am a pastor, and apparently she hates pastors more than anyone. In fact, she's going after one of the most deep, impactful, greatest, it's not a denomination, but a greatest group of churches in America today, the Calvary Chapels. By and large, these pastors are deeply convicted, biblical preaching, Orthodox pastors who have changed the world and were largely responsible for the Jesus revolution of the 70s. And Candace calls herself a Christian, yet goes after what Charlie loved most. If something doesn't add up, if something's not vibing, it's that. That's why I do this Pink Panther thing. We can have a little bit of fun with it and laugh, and hopefully we'll stop and pause when we're laughing and go, wait a minute, that's nuts. All right, fifth segment, final one, the Pink Panther parallel. Inspector Clouseau was convinced he was solving the case.
A beekeeper who has lost his voice, a cook who thinks he's a gardener, and a witness to a murder.
That was the joke. Behind him, there's broken furniture and false arrests and just chaos. In front of him, applause. That's the parallel. Confidence rising, accuracy declining, accountability disappearing. The louder the certainty with Candace, the thinner the proof. And millions are buying it. Listen, questioning power is healthy. Investigating wrongdoing is necessary. But implicating real people and real institutions without any evidence is not bravery at all. It's recklessness with a microphone. When every group becomes suspect and every connection becomes sinister, when dreams become clues and vibes become facts, man, you're no longer uncovering truth. You're training people to distrust reality itself. Wow, that's not courage. That's chaos. And it's causing a lot of harm to very real people. I'm Rob Singleton. I'll see you in the next video.